Chapter 7. Reaching the Age of Adolescence. Introduction. Many physical, psychological, and emotional changes occur during adolescence. Teenagers are in a peculiar stage of life where they are neither children nor adults. They are renowned for displaying extremely intense emotions such as happiness, anger, melancholy, etc. Additionally, they exhibit abrupt mood changes. In the same instant, they will experience both happiness and sadness. The endocrine system is a unique mechanism that supports bodily activities in humans and many other species. The glands that make up this system resemble bags. These glands, which are situated in precise locations throughout our bodies, release hormone-related chemicals. The various emotions we feel are brought on by these hormones, which function as chemical messengers. Phytohormones, also referred to as plant hormones, regulate and govern the germination, growth, metabolism, and other critical processes in plants. Hormones in humans regulate the start of puberty and the development of reproductive organs. Endocrine system. The human endocrine system is an integrated group of organs that controls hormone release. For appropriate growth and development, hormones are required. These are directly produced into the bloodstream by endocrine glands and transported to a particular organ by the blood. The endocrine glands release hormones directly into the bloodstream because they lack ducts. They are therefore also known as ductless glands. The hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal, pineal, and reproductive organs, testicles, ovaries, are the main glands that make up the human endocrine system. The following list of endocrine glands includes the hormones they emit and the actions they carry out. 1. The pituitary gland. It creates a number of hormones that regulate growth, water balance, and the release of additional hormones. At the bottom of the brain is where it is found. Growth hormone, GH, which promotes the body's growth and development, is secreted by it. Thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, and other hormones are also secreted by it. It is the body's master gland since it regulates how the other glands work. 2. Thyroid gland, located at the base of the throat, it secretes the hormone thyroxine, which regulates the body's metabolism. Goiter in adults and stunted growth in children are the results of it being deficient in the body. 3. The adrenal gland secretes the hormone aldosterone, which keeps the blood's proper salt balance. The hormone adrenaline, which is also produced by the adrenals, aids the body in coping with stress when a person is extremely irate, ashamed, or anxious. On the apex of the kidney, there are two structures called the adrenal glands. 4. The pancreas, it produces the hormone insulin, which aids in regulating blood sugar levels. Diabetes is a condition caused by high blood sugar levels. brought on by insulin deficiency. It's close to the liver. 5. In females, the ovaries secrete the hormones relaxin, inhibin, estrogen, and progesterone. In females, estrogen promotes the expansion and development of secondary sexual characteristics. During pregnancy, progesterone keeps the uterus from growing. The pelvic cavity contains the ovaries. Male testicles secrete testosterone, which promotes the growth and development of secondary sexual characteristics. Particularly throughout the adolescent years, hormones are crucial to the body's growth and development. Adolescence and puberty. Adolescence is the period of life when the body undergoes changes leading to reproductive maturity. It varies from person to person and mainly happens to be at the age of 11 and lasts up to 18 or 19 years of age. Adolescents are also called teenagers as this period covers the teens, 13 to 18 or 19 years of age. The human body undergoes several changes during adolescence, causing girls and boys to grow into adults. In girls, it begins a year or two earlier than in boys. Changes during adolescence mark the onset of puberty. Puberty is the period in life at which sexually immature boy or girl becomes sexually mature or is said to have attained reproductive maturity. Puberty ends when an adolescent reaches reproductive maturity. When a teenager reaches reproductive maturity, puberty comes to an end. Changes at puberty. Certain visible changes are common in both boys and girls at puberty. These are: increase in height. Puberty causes a dramatic increase in height because the long bones in the arms and legs get longer. Girls develop quicker than males at first, but by the time they are 18 years old, both sexes have reached their tallest point. Growth rates differ across the sexes, boys and girls, as well as between people. Some people may grow taller more quickly than others, while others grow taller more slowly. The body does not expand at the same rate in every part. Adolescents' hands, feet, and arms can occasionally appear disproportionately large and out of proportion to their bodies. However, the remaining components quickly catch up, creating a body that is in proportion. An individual's height is determined by the genes they got from their parents. As a result, height is inherited. But consuming the proper kinds of food in the right amounts throughout these formative years also affects height and ensures that the bones, muscles, and other body parts receive enough nutrition to grow. As a result, teenage boys and girls' nutritional needs differ from those of adults. Change in body shape. As both boys and girls go through puberty, their bodies change, changing how they seem. Girls' breasts begin to develop and get bigger, and their pelvic area widens. Inside the breasts, mammary glands or milk-secreting glands develop. Boys develop large shoulders and wide chests. Boys begin to appear more muscular than girls because their muscles become more noticeable. Body hair for both boys and girls, pubic hair and the area under the arms begin to grow during puberty. Boys also grow hair on their faces and chests. Voice change. During puberty, the larynx or voice box grows larger, changing the voice. This usually results in an apple growth around the neck. Boys typically acquire a deep gruff voice that is more pronounced due to their larger voice boxes. A girl's voice is usually high-pitched, and an enlarged voice box is visible as a bulge termed Adams. A boy's voice may first shatter or crack due to an increase in larynx size, but it eventually returns to normal. Increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands. Sweat and sebaceous, oil, gland secretion rises during puberty. Acne and pimples on the face are common in young individuals and are caused by increased activity of these glands in the skin. Development of sex organs. Boys' male reproductive organs, such as the testes and penis, fully develop throughout puberty. Sperm production begins in the testes. The ovaries of girls begin to grow, mature, and release eggs. Menstrual cycle onset results from this. Mental, intellectual, and emotional maturity. During puberty, a person may also go through a variety of emotional changes. An increase in hormones can lead to mood swings and irritation. Adolescents frequently experience embarrassing or humiliating feelings when they become aware of the changes in their bodies. It's possible to become attracted to the other sex throughout this stage. All of these are typical behavioral shifts. During this stage, they develop intellectually and spend a lot of time reflecting, perspective taking, idea exploration, concept development, and memory all get better. Adolescents may experience confusion, insecurity, or self-consciousness as they attempt to cope with their changing physical and mental needs. This is a common experience that comes with growing up. Secondary sexual characters. The differences that set a male from a female or a boy apart are known as secondary sexual traits. Male secondary sexual traits include height gain, a noticeable Adam's apple, a deep voice, the development of facial hair, pubic hair, and beards, as well as hair on the thighs, arms, and chest. Some of the secondary sexual features in females include developing breasts, growing pubic hair, hair in the armpits, less facial hair, high-pitched voice, and height gain, but with lower stature than boys. Smoother skin texture and the accumulation of fat around the hips are further signs. Sex hormones are responsible for initiating and controlling the secondary sexual traits that emerge during adolescent development. The ovaries and testes secrete these. Testes release testosterone, or male hormone. Boys change as a result of this. The ovaries of girls generate estrogen, or female hormone. The breasts develop as a result. Inside the breasts, mammary glands, which secrete milk, develop. The pituitary gland regulates the synthesis of sex hormones. Menstrual cycle. The reproductive age in females begins during puberty and lasts until 45 to 50 years of age. In contrast to the males, continual generation of sperm, the female gametes, ovum, maturation and release occurs cyclically or once every 28 to 30 days. Ovulation is the term for the process by which an ovary releases an egg or ovum. The uterine wall thickens throughout the course of 28 to 30 days in order to accommodate the fertilized egg. If sperm fertilize the egg, it starts to develop, which leads to pregnancy. If fertilization is unsuccessful, the unfertilized egg and the blood vessels that support the lining of the uterus decompose and exit the vagina together with blood and mucus. Women refer to this bleeding as their menstrual cycle or period. It spans 3 to 7 days. The menstrual cycle refers to the cycle of maturing ova production and release, linked to uterine and ovarian alterations. Menarche is the name given to a teenage girl's first menstrual cycle, which starts at puberty. Menstruation ceases when a person reaches the age of 45 to 50. Menopause is the word for this cessation of menstruation. Determination of sex in humans. Chromosomes are the thread-like structures located inside the nucleus that determine the sex of the infant developing inside the mother's womb. Genes are the units of information carried by chromosomes. There are 23 pairs of chromosomes in each cell, including one pair for sex. The sex chromosomes are called X and Y according to their forms. Males have one X and one Y chromosome, while females have two X chromosomes. There is only one set of chromosomes, one copy of each pair, in the gametes, sperm and ovum. There is always one X chromosome in an unfertilized egg. However, sperm can have either a Y or an X chromosome. A zygote with two X chromosomes will grow into a female kid when an X chromosome containing sperm fertilize an X chromosome containing egg. A male offspring is produced when an egg with an X chromosome and a sperm with a Y chromosome fertilize it. This condition is known as the XY condition. Role of hormones in completing the life history of insects and frogs. Metamorphosis is the term for the transition between distinct life stages in some animals, such frogs, and insects like silk moths and butterflies, before they become adults. Hormones in insects regulate their metamorphosis. It is regulated in frogs by the thyroid gland's production of the hormone thyroxine. Iodine, which is derived from water, is a component of thyroid. The tadpoles cannot mature into adults if there is no iodine in the water they are growing in. Reproductive health. A state of total physical, mental, and social well-being is called health. When a person is free from illnesses, tension, and anxiety, it is considered that they are in good health. A balanced diet, good personal hygiene, and regular exercise are necessary for maintaining physical health. These requirements increase in importance during adolescence due to the body's growth. Any illness that strikes during adolescence causes growth retardation. Nutritional needs of an adolescent. Adolescence is a time of rapid physical and mental growth, which causes the body's nutritional needs to rise dramatically. Thus, at this point, it's critical to have a balanced diet. A balanced diet consists of the proper amounts of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and vitamins in each meal. Our healthy Indian dinner consists of roti, rice, vegetables, and pulses. Junk food should not be consumed in excess because it is low in vital nutrients including proteins, vitamins, and minerals. For teenagers, milk, fruits, and veggies with green leaves are beneficial. At this age, girls begin menstruating, therefore they need to eat foods high in iron, calcium, and zinc. Personal hygiene. Teenagers should take special care to maintain their hygiene because their bodies sweat more than adults do, which leads to an unpleasant stench. Therefore, taking a daily shower is crucial. There is a risk of contracting illnesses if hygiene is neglected. Maintaining cleanliness in the genital areas is also crucial. Girls should take extra precautions to be clean during their menstrual cycle to avoid contracting any RTIs, reproductive tract infections. They ought to monitor their menstrual cycle and be ready for when it starts. During your period, use tampons or sanitary napkins. Alternate pads based on need every 4 to 5 hours. Physical exercise. Teenagers benefit from jogging, walking, aerobics, outdoor games, and other physical activities that maintain a fit and healthy physique. Say no to drugs. Being insecure and confused, adolescence makes it simple for the teenage mind to be misled by the wrong people or advice, which increases the risk of drug and alcohol dependence. Because they are so addicting, people often find themselves using drugs again. Over time, they damage the body, destroying happiness and health. Drug users are also more likely to contract HIV, the fatal virus that causes AIDS. Sharing syringes that are used to inject medications into the body might spread this virus. Sexual interaction with an infected individual can potentially spread AIDS. Additionally, an infant can contract it from an infected mother by drinking her milk. In a nutshell, hormones released by the glands of the endocrine system are responsible for various emotions experienced by us and also play an important role in the growth and development of the body, especially during adolescence. Endocrine glands which secrete hormones are ductless glands. Endocrine glands pour hormones directly into the bloodstream. The major glands that make up the human endocrine system are pituitary, thyroid, adrenals, pancreas, ovaries, and testes. Human beings are capable of reproduction after puberty sets in. Various physical and emotional changes take place in girls and boys during puberty. Adolescence is characterized by the development of breasts in girls and facial hair appear in boys. These are referred to as secondary sexual characteristics. The cycle of producing and releasing mature egg, thickening of the uterus wall, and its shedding if fertilization does not occur is known as the menstrual cycle. In insects, molting and metamorphosis are controlled by insect hormones. Nutritional requirements of the body increases tremendously during adolescence. Personal hygiene and physical exercise are also very important. It is also very important to say no to drugs and avoid them at all costs.